The sun dipped behind the crooked rooftops of the slum, staining the sky orange. Arif, a skinny 12-year-old boy with messy hair and barefooted feet hardened by years of running on gravel, kicked around a football made of rags tied with rubber bands. The ball bounced unevenly, sometimes veering off into the open drain, but Arif didn't care. His friends laughed at his obsession. "Arif, this thing isn't even a football. Why don't you fly kites with us?" one of them shouted. Arif grinned, wiped the sweat dripping down his face, and trapped the rag ball under his foot. "Because kites fall down. Football takes me up." His house was a single-room shack with cracked walls. His father returned late every evening, carrying tools from the construction site, his back bent like an old tree. His mother, with swollen fingers from endless sewing, served watery lentils with dry roti. But no matter how empty the plate, Arif's dreams were full. Every night, he whispered to himself. One day, I'll play in a stadium. I'll wear real boots. I'll make my parents proud. School was not much kinder than the streets. Arif's classmates mocked his torn uniform and broken sandals. But when the annual sports day arrived, things changed. "Who'll volunteer for football?" the teacher asked. The rich boys stepped forward confidently, their polished shoes gleaming. Arif, hesitant, raised his hand. The teacher, Mr. Rahman, nodded. "Come, Arif. Let's see what you've got." The whistle blew. The polished boys ran clumsily, tripping over each other, while Arif moved like water, smooth and fast. He dribbled past defenders with a ragball's instinct, weaving through them as if the field was his home. He scored 2 goals in minutes, his bare feet smacking the ball with power. Mr. Rahman clapped loudly. "Remember this boy's name. He has fire in his legs." That day, for the first time, Arif felt seen. But life had its own plans. When Arif turned 15, tragedy struck. His father collapsed at work and was bedridden for months. The family's income vanished. Arif dropped out of school and took a job at a roadside tea stall. His mornings began with boiling kettles and scrubbing greasy plates. Customers barked orders, sometimes mocking his ragged clothes. One afternoon, a customer sneered, "Football boy. Forget dreams. Football doesn't fill stomachs." Arif's chest tightened, but he stayed silent. Later, alone in the alley, he kicked his ragball harder than ever, whispering, "Football will feed me. One day, it will." Destiny, however, hides in strange corners. One evening, a man in his 40s named Samir walked by the playground. He had once been a semi-professional coach before quitting due to lack of support. He stopped when he saw a barefoot boy dribbling past 6 defenders, juggling the ball effortlessly. Samir's eyes widened. Raw Tal. Samir walked by the playground. He had once been a semi-professional coach before quitting due to lack of support. He stopped when he saw a barefoot boy dribbling past 6 defenders, juggling the ball effortlessly. Samir's eyes widened. Raw talent. Untouched. Rare. He walked onto the field. "Boy, what's your name?" "Arif," the boy panted, clutching the ragball. "Where did you learn this?" Arif shrugged. "Here. On these streets." That night, Samir visited Arif's house. Sitting cross-legged on the floor, he told his parents, "Your son has a gift. Let him join my academy." His mother sighed. "We can't afford fees." Samir shook his head. "No fees. Just dedication." For the first time, hope entered their tiny house. Arif stepped into the academy like a pilgrim entering a holy place. He touched a real leather football, smooth, firm, alive. He wore second-hand boots, 2 sizes too big, but to him they felt like golden slippers. Training was brutal. Samir shouted, "Discipline makes champions." Again. Arif ran until his lungs burned, drilled until his legs shook, and kicked until blisters tore his skin. But every scar was a badge. After training, he returned to the tea stall, washing plates with trembling hands, then sneaking back to practice under the streetlight. His friends mocked him. "Arif, you're wasting your life." Arif only smiled. "My life hasn't started yet." Months later, the academy entered a youth tournament. For the first time, Arif walked onto real grass, under blinding floodlights, with hundreds watching. His heart thundered. The match was fierce. The other team was stronger, better equipped. At halftime, Arif's team trailed 1-0. Samir grabbed him by the shoulders. "Remember who you are. You've played with nothing but rags. They had everything. Show them what hunger feels like." Second half began. Arif transformed into fire. He dribbled past defenders, cut inside, and with a strike that seemed to split the night, scored the equalizer. Minutes later, he smashed the winning goal. The crowd erupted. "Arif! Arif! Arif!" That night, the poor tea stall boy became the hero of the city streets. Fame brought both hope and hardship. Scouts invited Arif to professional trials. But he faced ridicule, his accent, his broken English, his clothes. One scout chuckled, "Where did this slum boy come from? He doesn't belong here." Arif clenched his fists. "Maybe not in your world. But on the field, the ball listens to me." Injury struck too. A torn ankle ligament kept him away for months. Lying on a wooden cot, he stared at the ceiling, tears rolling down his cheeks. Samir visited daily. Champions are not those who never fall. Champions are those who rise after falling. Arif healed, stronger than before. He returned hungrier, sharper, faster. At 19, Arif signed his first professional contract with a local club. The amount seemed unreal, more money than his family had seen in their entire lives. His mother wept holding the contract. "My son, from plates to papers. Allah is kind." They moved into a modest two-room house with electricity, clean water, and a fridge. His father received proper treatment. The tea stall owner hugged him. "You proved us wrong, boy. Football does feed you." But Arif didn't forget the nights of hunger. He trained harder, determined never to let poverty return. His rise was meteoric. With every match, he stunned spectators, his speed like lightning, his dribbles like art. Soon, he wore his nation's jersey. Standing in a packed stadium of 50,000, he placed his hand on his chest as the national anthem played. Tears blurred his vision. The boy who once chased a rag ball in a slum was now the pride of a nation. Commentators shouted, "Arif's story proves that football is not just a sport, it's a miracle for the poor, a ladder to dreams." He scored goals that lifted his country to new heights. Newspapers called him the Boy of Fire. Fame and fortune could have made him arrogant. But Arif remembered his roots. He returned to his old neighborhood and built a free football academy. Dozens of children played with proper shoes and balls, things he once prayed for. He told them, "Dreams don't ask where you're born. They only ask if you're willing to chase them." His story spread worldwide. Documentaries, interviews, and newspapers carried his journey from slum to stadium. But for Arif, the greatest victory was not the medals, it was the spark in children's eyes when they kicked a ball and whispered, "One day, I'll be like Arif." Years later, Arif stood at the edge of the same dusty street where it all began. Children played football, their laughter filling the air. A rag ball rolled to his feet. He picked it up, smiled, and kicked it back. "Football changed my life," he thought. And now, it will change theirs. Subscribe my YouTube channel Huddle Zone for more videos.